This week we got some Jedi groans,
Bruh.
some village moans,
Come and see the violence inherent in the system! Help! Help! I'm being repressed! Bloody peasant! Oh, what a giveaway! Did you hear that?
and some throwing stones. All in Chapter 20 of Dark Force Rising.
It was a bounty hunter who called.
Hello there, I'm Darren.
And I'm Kat.
And, how was guard duty?
Eventful. I promise we won't taste that great. I have a bad feeling about this.
Hello. I'm here to rescue you.
Oh, actually, can we just turn up the heat and speed this along? Yeah, so it was eventful. Do you like my hat?
Yeah, fabulous. Anyway, welcome to The Real Sequels, the series of events that happened after Episode 6 in the books, novels, and sometimes comics in the Star Wars Expanded Universe. Today we're open with Chapter 20 of Dark Force Rising. We open Chapter 20 with Joruus C'baoth holding court. A pair of villagers detach themselves from the back wall and make their way towards the raised judgment seat. The former Jedi Master spoke up. Jedi Skywalker, the final case of the evening is yours. Luke acknowledges the call and gingerly sits down on the uncomfortable judgment throne. Too warm, too large, and far too ornate.
Smells like C'baoth's ass.
With a strangely disturbing aura that Luke put down to the after effect of C'baoth sitting there judging the townspeople for hours. Now it was Luke's turn. Luke takes a deep breath, pushing down the fatigue that had become permanent to him recently. He was ready to begin. The two villagers went on about their dispute. One's animals had knocked down the other's fence and destroyed some crops. They've agreed that the owner of the animals will pay out for the crops. But the owner of the crops also insists that the fence be rebuilt by the owner of the animals, which the owner of the animals disputes because a properly built fence wouldn't have fallen over. Luke rules that the owner of the animals will pay for the fruit. The full amount will be determined by the village council. He felt C'baoth stir behind him at this, but he really couldn't change his mind at this point, and even if he could, he had no better ideas. Luke now getting more nervous, looking around at C'baoth, the two villagers and the rest of the village, all waiting for him to make the right decision. He says that, as for the fence, he'll make a decision when he sees it tomorrow morning. The two men bow and back away, and C'baoth declares this session closed. And Luke clenches his cheeks in the expectation of the ass whooping he's about to get from C'baoth.
Hold on to your butts.
C'baoth gives Luke a slight dressing down, and Luke apologizes. C'baoth then hits back with a fantastic rant, and I'm actually just going to read it here because it's bloody wonderful. So Luke says sorry, and C'baoth says, Sorry? Sorry, Jedi Skywalker? You had it all right there in your hands. You should have cut off their prattle far sooner than you did. Your time is too valuable to waste with petty recriminations. You should have made the decision yourself on the amount of compensation, but instead, you gave it over to that absurd excuse of a village council. And as to the fence, he shook his head in mild disgust. There was absolutely no reason for you to postpone judgment on that. Everything you needed to know about the damage was right there in their minds. It should have been no trouble, even for you, to have pulled that from them.
He's not angry. He's just disappointed.
Oh, he angry. Luke just doesn't want to pull the people's thoughts from their minds, though, without their permission. It seems wrong and completely alien and just new to Luke. C'baoth, however, has some messed up logic that he explains that by actually taking their thoughts, Luke could have helped the whole situation.
I love C'baoth's reaction. He's all like, you've never violated someone's personal preference in order to help them before?
Yeah, and here Luke's mind goes to the slicer code that he got from Lando to take his ship off the Sluice Van shipyards.
But what he should have been thinking about was that time when he killed like 1 million people.
Or when he violated those two pig guys' personal preferences of not being choked the fuck out on guard duty. Gamorreans, gotta love them. Regardless, Luke's cheeks flush, and he agrees that he has done that on occasion. It all boils down to the fact that Luke feels like he was too much in charge of and involved in these people's personal lives. To which C'baoth hits back that He understands, but that this is the crux of the matter. It is for C'baoth the acceptance and wielding of responsibility that sets the Jedi apart from all others in the galaxy. C'baoth calls the villagers primitives, something Luke doesn't quite get his head around. He says that he wouldn't call them primitives due to their modern technology and quite clear system of government. However, C'baoth's eyes drifted off as peering into the past. With rose-tinted glasses, he started, "For 1,000 generations we stood tall among the lesser beings of the galaxy, guardians of justice and order, the creators of true civilization. The Senate could debate laws, but it was the Jedi who turned them into reality. But then the galaxy destroyed us."
It's really interesting, his choice of words, compared to old Ben's.
Yeah, I mean, so he's replacing peace with order, and it's that speech that he gives in his hut back in Tatooine when he first kind of introduces the Jedi to Luke, And he's like that the guardians of peace and justice in the galaxy, and now it's justice and order. And it kind of just even the tone between the two speeches kind of gives that how Ben thinks of the Jedi as servants, whereas C'baoth thinks of them as commanders and dictators. So Luke was kind of confused at this, and he thought that it was the Sith that destroyed them. However, C'baoth explains that an empire rose because of the consent of the galaxy, and that the galaxy hated them for their maturity and wisdom. This didn't fit with what Luke knew about the Jedi. Yoda and Old Ben never had any hate or bitterness about them, and his thoughts turned even to Obi-Wan taking down Panda Baba and Ivanza in Mos Eisley Cantina, and how respectful he was while he was being forced to cut the two down.
His disarming charm.
His thoughts then fell to New Cove and the respect that the place had for him, and he hadn't experienced this hate that C'baoth was talking about. C'baoth, however, says that he will, and so will his sister and her children. C'baoth then uses this again to try and convince Luke that he needs to train all of them together to save their lives.
It's a trap.
Luke, however, says that he can't do that. It wouldn't be safe to bring Leia here. And C'baoth hits back, however, "Do you doubt that I can protect her?" Luke says that he doesn't doubt C'baoth, but just then, however, C'baoth goes stiff.
Feast your eyes.
Giggity.
His eyes gazing into space as if at nothing. Luke asks if he's alright with no response. Luke then takes his arm and tries to escort C'baoth to his room. C'baoth, however, blinks twice and returns to normal. He tells Luke that Luke is tired and sends the Jedi to his room. We then switch to the Emperor, standing with the cowl of his robe hiding half his face, his piercing yellow eyes blazing brightly across the room. Mara watches as Luke and Vader battle, then suddenly stop and turn on the Emperor. Mara, unable to go to the Emperor's aid, she watches, crying out with desperation. She watches on as the Emperor shoots jagged lightning into the two, hoping that this time it will end differently. But no, and the dream finishes with, "You will kill Luke Skywalker." This jerk snapped her awake. That dream again. The same dream that has followed her around the galaxy for the past 5 years. She thought this time though would be different. This time she could kill Luke. Then, fully awake, she realizes that no, this was wrong. She was going to ask for his help. And this was her chance. Joe Mark. She realizes that the skip ray has folded onto its side as it has came closer to the planet, raising alarms, and it's a real fight for Mara to control it on her approach. Now successfully back on course, Mara feels extremely tired, as if she was battling for days. A tiredness that only faded in the presence of her Ysalamiri. "Nice try," she says. Now convinced that she was right, the Jedi Master doesn't want any visitors. That is when it happened. The attack. No turbo lasers, no planetary defense, but she's still being hit by something. It was rocks, and she was going down.
Ooh.
Yeah, we get a good insight into kind of Luke's nervousness, and this kind of whole chapter is kind of him growing up and taking his place as a leader and kind of trying to recognizing where a Jedi's role should be compared to where C'baoth's trying to push him to be. He's still quite not there. He's not quite the Jedi Master he should be.
He needs to be breaking up a few more bar fights.
Exactly,
yeah.
And it's just
That's where he belongs.
Yeah,
With a glass of blue milk in his hand and breaking up bar fights.
Yeah, and it shows the difference between him and Leia. I mean, Leia would have and instantly like knew exactly what to do in that situation, but it's not really his. It's not his forte. You know, he'd probably rather be going out and hitting stuff with a big glow stick.
Yep, wouldn't we all?
Yeah, but this chapter kind of just shows us the subtle differences between the light side and the dark side sometimes. Because I mean, a lot of the time we see the obviousness of good and evil, but this is kind of those subtleties that show you the slippery slope that Yoda talks about in Episode 5 and like throughout the prequels and everything. So it was kind of cool to see.
Yep.
Anyway, that's about all we've got time for this week. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you earned it, and check out some of the videos I've done in this one. And we'll see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.